Gus G's in the house.
Yeah, that's all right.
Live on stage.
Yeah.
Without cutting, without editing. Is what first take, man.
First take.
Hey, for those who don't know, you're the founder
Of Firewind.
of Firewind.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the founder and you're the guitar nerd of Firewind. Yeah. So that was an instrumental
Yeah, sure.
track from one of your albums.
It's the title track of my latest solo album. It's called Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the title track. So it's a
Good, yeah.
good song to start the day with.
Yeah. Okay, so you're on tour?
I'm on tour
Europe,
right now.
yeah.
Yeah. It's we're on tour with Firewind actually. It's the first European tour post-COVID times.
Yeah.
And we are out with supporting Beast in Black. And it's actually a long tour. It's 2 months long.
Yeah.
42 shows.
42 shows.
So yeah.
So tonight you're playing the Batschkapp.
Tonight we are here in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we've already done, man, we're already more than halfway in for the tour. We've done 20-something shows.
Yeah.
So probably about 18 more to go or something like that.
Yeah. Long way.
Still got another month to go almost still.
Okay. So good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Lots to talk about guitars and amps and plays and alternate picking and sweep picking and cutting picking.
Yeah.
Hey, that's funny because every player is different. I mean, that's
You're right.
that's a really cool thing. I mean,
Yeah, you were showing me before we started, like, you were asking about if I use economy, and then I guess I only use economy picking when I do the ascending licks, and you do it like when you do the descending licks, but
that's funny, isn't
I
it?
couldn't do that.
I mean, just let's show to the people what is alternate picking and what is economy picking.
Well, alternate picking is when we start. Actually, yeah, it's like the basics: down, up, down, up.
Yeah.
That's you know. So if you want to play something, if you want to play like a triplet or something, and you want to do down, up, down, down, up. So that's alternate picking.
Yeah, sure.
Economy picking is when you are actually. That comes into play when you're actually switching strings.
Yes.
Switching strings, and instead of doing down, up, when you switch a string, you continue with another downstroke, so almost doing a little bit of a little small movement,
it's
like
a mini sweep.
Mini sweep picking.
Yeah.
So instead, if you were trying to do, for example, and you were doing down, up, down, up, down, up, you would do down, up, down, down. And you can get insanely fast with that if you practice hard enough. And you can do the same thing like the other way, like but you have to start on an upstroke, I guess. Yeah. So that's economy picking. You know what? I didn't get into economy picking until later. I personally get a little bit too lazy now to do alternate.
Yeah.
Like, so if it's more convenient to do economy if you can, depending on, or for example, it opens up new possibilities. Like I couldn't do quintuplets before. Now I can do 5, groups of 5. I couldn't do like you cannot do that alternate. I couldn't, so it's kind of Eric Johnson thing. So
Yeah, that EJ.
So those things, I couldn't do that before.
So I mean, we all know you played with Ozzy for 7 years. You told me before. That's a long time.
6, 7 years.
Yeah. What I can imagine, it's a hard thing to mimic all those great players like Randy Rhoads and Jakey Lee and Zakk Wylde. They're all playing different.
Yes, they're very different.
So what you would say was the biggest challenge on that?
Well, the thing was, to me, the biggest challenge was obviously to do the songs justice, first of all, because my approach was very traditional in the sense that how would I like it to sound if I had a ticket to go and see an Ozzy show?
Yeah.
I would expect whoever it is that he's playing the guitar, I would expect that he stuck to the classics and he had a good sound that is reminding of that era somehow, but still, So that was my approach. I didn't deviate too much from the classics. So that was the #1 priority for me, paying the right amount of respect, trying to not emulate the tone, but kind of recreate the vibe of the song. So stick to the original as close as possible, play it as much as possible note for note, and of course your own sound is going to come out anyways because you have your own gear, your own fingers, so that's inevitable. Your own personality will come out anyways. But that was my approach, and of course, like you said, very different styles, going from somebody like Randy Rhoads all the way up to Jake and Zakk Wylde, and of course playing the Sabbath catalog, so different.
Yeah.
Trying to recreate the Tony Iommi tone, which is more fuzzy, heavier, more doom. But I'm such a fan, and I grew up, so it's part of my vocabulary, so to speak, part of my upbringing, and it was.
But you have all those great fast runs and licks owned by the original players, and they all do different, and I think that's really, really hard to do.
To me, the licks was not the most difficult part of the gig. Like I said, the most difficult part of the gig was to create that kind of vibe and try to do it justice.
Be respectful.
Yeah, because if you practice the songs and learn them note for note, it's playable, you can do it, you know? Yeah. But the thing is, it has to sound right. Yeah. And it's not we're not talking about a cover band anymore. We're talking about the actual band that's backing up the man, Ozzy.
Real shit,
yeah, so it's actually him there singing the stuff. So you have to do it right. So that was my main concern going into that gig, and going into that band. Yeah. So I mean, we got mostly good reviews. I remember everybody was happy. Everybody went crazy at the audience. So I think not only me but everybody in the band did a good job. Yeah.
So being in that huge band thing, what is the biggest lesson you learned, being in with so many professional guys, all doing all the big gigging and
I learned touring? Not to take.
What is the lesson you learned?
The lesson I learned is not to take any sleeping pills from Ozzy ever, because he will almost kill you. Seriously, I was getting like really insomnia.
Did you try?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, and I almost never woke up again because the stuff he takes is heavy. Because the thing is, I was so hyped up from the shows every night, I couldn't sleep. I would go back to the hotel after the gig, and every night I would go to sleep later and later and later. Yeah. It got to a point where I couldn't sleep anymore. And and Ozzy goes one day, he's like, "Hey, if you ever need any sleeping pills, I have some."
Ask me.
Yeah. I was like, "For real?" "Yeah. Just come to my room, I'll have some stuff." And then one day I was like...
Never go to Ozzy's room.
Yeah. I did that mistake. I made that mistake. I said, "Hey boss, you have any sleeping pills?" And he goes, "Hey, here's the light stuff. Because I take 2, here's the light stuff." So I took the light pill and I couldn't wake up. Like I woke up the next day at 6 p.m., 1 hour before the show.
Really?
Yeah, and I was stoned out of my mind. So the tour manager goes, "What are you doing, man?" It's like, the stuff that he takes, they put elephants to sleep. You shouldn't take anything. And then I realized, fuck, that was stupid. Don't take anything from that guy. He's done it all. So that's what I learned.
It was a big lesson, yeah.
Yeah, besides all the professional stuff.
Yeah, sure. I mean, now you're on tour with Firewind. I mean, everything is smaller. You don't have that many guys with you on tour, and everything is. But it's also closer to the fans, is it?
Oh yeah. So I mean, I come from that background, anyways. I mean, when you play arenas, I think. The coolest thing for a musician's
ego... You don't see the fans anyway.
No, you don't see them. No. You don't really see them. It's the best thing for a musician's ego, maybe.
So you pretend seeing them like, hey.
You actually have to perform a bit different because you have to do bigger movements.
Yeah, sure.
You have to make sure that the people up there can see you, in the balconies. But the thing is, you don't have that kind of connection as is in a club for 1,000 people or something. Yeah. Or even smaller. So. I'm not saying it's not cool to play arenas, because it's stupid to say. It's like I said, it's great for the musician's ego. It's nice as an experience. It's amazing, and of course to work with a big production. Yeah. That's amazing. But at the same time, like you said, it's a bit when you're playing more intimate gigs, it's a different energy. Yeah. Definitely a different energy. And I like doing both. I don't care,
Yeah. So you're getting more back from the fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot. That's cool. Okay, so we are here because of Jackson guitars.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So what are you playing here? It's a neck through Sandemas, is it?
This is my signature Sandemas guitar. Yeah. Came out back in 2020. So
besides this one, you play another model,
I'm mostly
which we don't have here today.
I know. Yeah. I'm mostly known for the Star guitars. Yeah. I play those, but we came up with this guitar.
I mean, this guitar is pretty unique because it looks like a bolt-on thing.
It's not.
It's not, but it looks like, because it's a...
Neck through.
Yeah, but you have a Strat form, and normally you have bolt-on necks on those types of guitars.
Yeah.
But this one is neck through.
It's neck through. Yeah, all my guitars are neck through. I talked to the Jackson people a few years ago because I grew up on a Stratocaster. I grew up on one of those Super Strats. Remember those Sambora models in the 90s?
Yeah.
I had not one of those, but a similar one. It was called Classic Floyd Rose Series. They were not very popular, but it was like a configuration of humbucker and 2 single coils, and I've had a Floyd Rose. And it was kind of like a more modernized Strat.
Yeah.
And that was my first guitar, and I've had that throughout my whole childhood and growing up. So I wanted to do a Strat style guitar, so we talked about it, and you know, we came up with a candy apple red color, which is awesome, and it's maple neck.
Maple neck, of course.
I usually always play rosewood fretboard, but I wanted to try the maple neck. It has a brighter sound, which is really cool. The reverse headstock is obviously a cool feature.
Yeah. Good guitar. Yeah. You have special pickups in the guitar.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind them?
Well, these are, well, a few years ago I decided to start my own pickup company. Yeah, I guess out of necessity maybe. So
you brought in your own pickups in the guitar?
Yeah, I spoke to people at Jackson. I said, would you be okay if we kind of put my pickups instead? You know, I used to have a signature model with Seymour Duncan, but then I left that. And I said, I'm starting my own venture, and maybe we can collaborate on that. And obviously that makes the guitar even more unique.
So do you whining yourself?
Not myself. I don't wind them myself. No. So, but you know, we work with a factory in Asia, and now actually we have a small custom shop in the USA as well. I collaborate with some guys.
So you can tell those guys make it hotter or make it more MIDI.
Yeah, or we can offer them in like different colors, or you can get like different weird colors like sparkling red, or I don't know. But you know, you can customize it to your liking, you know, if you want different color bobbins and stuff like that. But yeah, we came up with 2 models originally, an active model and a passive. This is a passive set. It's a ceramic magnet, and it's called the Immortal, and that's what's on this guitar, and I think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, sure, it does. So we had that before. So what would you say is the most important part working with the Jackson guitars? So what do you expect from working with Jackson guitars?
Well, obviously they're a big organization, and they. I mean, really working with them is a blessing because I really communicate well with them. Yeah. They really have ideas that are, you know, they make sure that when we create guitars, like, it has a meaning behind every revamp that we do, and they really get behind their products and their guitars, and the quality, of course, of the instruments. That's number one to me. Like, it has to be a guitar that I'm able to pick up. Like, I just showed up from the airport here, and this is a guitar that you have in stock, in the shop.
So this was hanging on the wall.
Yeah, and I picked it up and I'm playing with this. So this is very important to me.
That's the way it should be. Yeah.
I mean, it has to be, right? It has to be. Otherwise, how can you put your name on a product if you cannot support that? So for me, it's important. Like, I can pick up the guitar, I can play this, I can take it on stage or hang out here with you, jam, whatever. So these are my guitars. You know, I'm involved in the specs.
So you're kind of responsible for it.
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course it's an honor to work with such a legendary brand. So and I hear them out as well. They give me ideas, and they advise me on a lot of things, and I come. You know, we work really well together by kind of like pitching ideas to each other every time we design a guitar.
Very good. Okay. So you have any further plans in the future with Jackson and new models and new?
We're talking about it right now, about doing something.
Something new?
Yeah. We don't know exactly what it's going to be. We're trying to revamp maybe this guitar or the Star guitar. Like every 2-3 years, these discussions come up, and we'll see. So let's see. It's being talked about right now. But you know, by the time this comes out, as you know, it takes a while because we go back and forth. We make prototypes. Maybe make some adjustments, and then we have a final product that we can go into production.
Sure. Okay. So you told me before you're doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a YouTube
That's
channel.
funny, because YouTube is all for that nerdy stuff. You do lessons, or you do playthroughs, or what do you?
Well,
do?
YouTube is everything today, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really,
sure.
it's the new world. It's where you find anything and everything. And I think if you're a musician, whether you're doing it for fun or professionally, you should be out there. And I do, like you said, I do a little bit of guitar lessons, showing some licks or parts of my songs that maybe our fans want to know how I play certain parts. Sometimes I do vlogs from the tour. Sometimes it's about my cats.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's whatever, man. Like about certain topics, you know, I'll do like, I don't know, favorite guitars, or I'll show my guitar collection or things like that. So all kinds of stuff. You know, I feed off the audience as well that is watching, and they give me ideas on the comments as well, and I like to interact as well. So it's been fun to do YouTube.
So it's so funny because all the work which was done by record companies in the past is done by yourself now. So you have to be on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube.
Yeah, it's very
The
direct.
artists are selling themselves through YouTube.
I guess nowadays, being an artist in 2023 is more about being like being a content creator, they call them now, or being an entrepreneur. These words are being thrown around a lot, and it's so true. Like, it has changed a lot, which on one hand it's a lot of work. You know, you have to spend a lot more hours of the day creating this stuff and putting it out there, which maybe takes away a little bit from the practicing. On the other hand, it puts back the power to the artist.
Yeah.
So I find it a wonderful thing. Even though it takes a lot of time to think about and create all this stuff, I find it fascinating that I can put up a video, and you know, people that follow me, my career, they can tell me directly, hey Gus,
it's so close, it's so direct.
It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the thing which never changes is playing live on stage.
No,
it's not virtual, it's not digital, like you do tonight.
Yes, that's the real deal.
That stays the real deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's a concert experience is something that everybody should be a part of, should live in their life. Anybody who loves music, and in my opinion, that will never go away. Even though the live stream technology has done miracles, especially through COVID and all that, but you know, you cannot recreate. You cannot. I mean, you have to live the experience yourself to be in a concert.
You have to smell. You have to sweat.
Yeah.
That's all the real shit.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I think because a lot of people were kind of scared. Remember, they were like, "Oh, so that's the end of live business, and it's only going to be like." I don't think so. I think they're going to coexist. Yeah. Live music will always be there. Yeah. I don't think that will ever go away. People will always want to be entertained. They will want to leave the house and go somewhere, have a beer, see a band play, whatever. Yeah.
So how about Firewind? I mean, do you do some new stuff tonight?
Yeah.
Some new songs?
We just actually released a brand new single. Yeah. It's called Destiny's Calling, and we've been testing it before it was released. We've been testing it every night on tour. You know, we're saying to the people like, hey, want to hear a new song? It's not out yet. Everybody goes crazy. So we're getting a good reaction, and we just put it out last Friday, February 24th, and it's part of what is going to become a new Firewind album later in the year. So we're going to be throwing a few more singles along the way, and at some point a new album will come up. I'm hoping end of this year. So right now, we're playing this brand new song, which is cool because it's the first new song in 3 years. Yeah. I mean, we put out an album just right when the world was closing down. And I remember telling our record label, let's not put the album out yet. They were like, nah, it'll be fine, don't worry. People will listen to music even when they're home. And of course, you know, we put out the album and we had to cancel all the tours like everybody else. So we're kind of still touring behind that old album. Yeah, for sure. The latest album,
So how about the production? Do you do all the recording yourself? How do you record guitars?
Guitars, I do. I have a home studio and I track everything there. Nowadays, I don't go to studios anymore. You know, we do hire studios to do drums.
You're playing with Amplitude, or you're playing with real amps? What do you do?
A little bit both. Yeah. I record some stuff with, you know, real amps and cabs and stuff, but I record also DI signal. Yeah. Eventually, that's what I send to the producer, and he maybe reamps it. Okay. My last solo record was all plugins. That was a quarantine record, so that was all plugins.
What plugins?
I think.
You did Ampli?
Oh yeah, Amplitude. Yeah. I used that.
Yeah.
I actually used different plugins. I used Amplitude 4, I think.
Yeah.
Amplitude 4. I used some stuff you have even from TuneTrack, and I used for the main lead tone for most of the songs. It was STL Tones plugin. It was actually a free plugin called the Emissary. It's so fucking great. So, I don't know. But yeah, so it was a combination of different plugins, and it sounds great. I mean,
it works.
It's kind of crazy how much the plugin technology has evolved. Like it almost feels like a real amp. It's pretty close. I mean, I still love to play tube amps on stage.
Yeah.
And I still do that. But
I mean, there's no comparison to it.
yeah, but for home use, it's pretty good with the plugins, man. It's convenient. You just plug into your interface and.
So it all started with the red pot, you know, the red bean.
I did records with that too. The first 2 Firewind records is the
pod.
The pod 2.
The pod too.
Yes, I did records with that back in the day. Those were kind of like the first modelers, right?
Yeah, it was the first popular modeler.
Yeah. Those are pretty good.
Back in the old days.
I mean, I love the clean tones they had actually.
Yeah,
They
sure.
were really good.
Wow. Okay, so I would say you should play something for us. Yeah, but first you need to sign the guitar. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd love to. Of course.
Just write something dirty on the headstock.
Okay. Don't tempt me, man. Okay. So, check this out. I'm even drawing something nice. Oh, what year is it? Oh.
Hey, that's a good one.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
Wow. Yeah.
Artistic stuff.
Yeah. Now it's a holy grail.
There you go. No.
So you're left-handed, but I mean, so.
Well, many guitar
Would you
players.
say that's the reason you have that very smooth, strong vibrato?
Well, when I pick up the guitar, because I was always left-handed, obviously, I thought, okay, this is my strong arm, or the one I feel more comfortable is the left, and that's gonna. I figure myself like that's probably what does all the fretwork job.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I thought maybe this is the right way. Nobody told me it should be the other way or this way.
Yeah.
It was natural that I pick up the guitar and put it on my lap like that.
Yeah.
And later, my teacher said, "Oh yeah, that's how it should be." So I never really thought about the other way, switching in left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But besides all the fast runs you do, I like your the
vibrato,
a lot. Yeah, because it's smooth and slow.
Yeah, I mean, I got that from my favorite players. You know, it was
Yeah.
Gary Moore and Yngwie and
Yeah.
all the good guys. You know, John Sykes and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the way it should be. Okay, so thanks for being here. Very
Thank you
good.
so much. Always a pleasure to
Pleasure
come back.
talking to you. Yeah, because all the nerdy stuff I like talking about economy and all the vibrato thing.
I mean, these things can go on forever. Like, there's no end with that stuff. When you put 2 guitar players together, that's how it is.
So we had Heroic, the first one.
Well, these are
now
like-
we do.
This one's called Enigma.
Enigmatic?
Enigma of Life. These are like working titles. So.
Yeah.
My demos. This is called Enigma of Life. It's also from the latest solo record.
All right, ready to go.
I hope I can play it right. Let's try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live on stage. Human factor. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Olli.
So, say hello to the German guys.
Thank you. Tschuss.
Tschüss.
Vielen Dank. Dankeschön. Hammergeil. All the German stuff.
Super.